Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today? Krista, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Today, I'm starting it. This is kind of weird.
I know.
Because,
We're trying something different.
yeah, I'm trying something different. So, it's like I'm not a podcaster, but I'm turning into a podcaster. It's kind of...
You're literally a podcaster.
I'm turning into it. So, it's
You're like 15 episodes in, bro. You're a podcaster.
I don't know about all that. But I'm starting, to get the hang of it. So, this time, I'm going to start it. How was your week?
My week? How was my week? I think it was good.
Oh, good.
I think... As you slapped me in the head.
I mean, yeah, for real.
I think it was good. Yeah, no, it was good. I got all my homework done. This week coming up is going to be busy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got me stressed out. We got a lot going on at work. But this past week was good.
Good. My week was pretty good also. Had a great rehearsal with my college choirs and my community groups. And my church choir also. It was really neat just to coming out of, well, I wouldn't say coming out of COVID, but learning how to live within COVID and still be productive and looking at the morale of the singers. And
you got some super cool masks.
And yeah, really cool. And so I think that's cool. So it motivates me actually, because last year was just with COVID, it was just hard, trying to make things work as I started a new job. So I think that's really cool.
I think so too. I like your mask though.
What do you like about them?
Like I don't feel like I'm suffocating.
Yeah.
Which is a bonus.
Yeah, they're cool. They breathe and they're breathable, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
You can sing in them and stuff like that.
Oh well, because I was singing in mine.
Yeah, no, talking.
Just saying.
Just talking. The thing I want to talk about is what do you do for fun? What's playtime? What's playtime for you? I have been all of my adult life actually, I have been so driven, and driven from, okay, I got to get my undergrad degree, I got to get my master's degree, I got to get this, I got to build that program, and in this, I became so driven that I've become so driven, I should say, that a part of me, when I look back on my life, I say, then where was the fun in that? I mean, I love to do what I do, and I'm just as driven, if not more driven now. I am way more driven now, but I'm also driven to have fun and to figure out what that work-life balance is for me, and so I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, you know what, I absolutely love my job at UCF. I absolutely love getting in those trenches and to help build, and I'm totally sold out. I love working with my church choir. They are the sweetest people, and they just want to learn, they just want to give. I love leading Orlando Choral Society with the Winter Garden Community Choir and Voce del Corte. Just some beautiful people who last week just wanted to sing, and we laughed and we just, so it was a lot of fun, driven to...
It still worked.
That's the thing about it is, it is still work, but I don't necessarily see that part as work. It's because I'm doing what I love to do. That being said, now is the other part. How can I, have fun? And I go more deeply in that with my end, but how do you have fun?
How do I have fun?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a party in a box.
Okay.
I live to have fun.
Wow.
Oh, no. I mean, no, I think, I've had a lot of health issues.
Yeah,
and
right.
I also have a dead husband.
Right.
Those two things make you realize your mortality.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, right? Mortality?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I almost said morality. No, that's like... No, mortality. I meant mortality.
I was, stop, re-record, mortality, and keep going.
Yeah. But because of that, I lived for a long time just focused on getting things done, I guess is what you would say. Like, you got to make sure that the house is clean, and you've got to make sure that you do this and do that. And, everything had a certain rhyme or reason the way that you had to do it. And I'm not that way anymore. Now I want to play. Now I want to make memories. I want to travel. I want to go places. I've got a bucket list, and I actively check things off my bucket list.
Right.
Well, you were there for one of my bucket list things.
What's that?
Caviar. You wouldn't do it, but I did it.
Right.
You know, and to me, that's playing.
You know, the thing about it what's cool about you is that one of the things about you is that you, like you said, how you know, you were so locked in on these things in your life that you didn't really know how to have fun. And then you became intentional with your fun. You became intentional and didn't care what people thought of you.
No.
It was like, no, this is who I am. I'm going to be intentional with this, because you recognize through your pain the mortality of what you have on this earth. You know, and growing up, and sometimes as an adult, I became so fixated through being driven, how people thought of me, always being afraid to be misunderstood, and so on. It doesn't make sense to you, and it was living a life of just, you're not understanding me, till it takes away the fun of even what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute, I know who I am. Why am I trying to live a life of proving who I am instead of being who I am?
Right.
Because people will see and think whatever they want to think, and there's literally nothing you can do.
Not a thing.
Live, grow, build, inspire.
Well, I mean,
And that being said, that's why I said I need to become more intentional also with my own happiness. And with, you know what I'm saying, going and doing things that I want to make happy. You know, I want to make. So that's a way that you really inspire me.
well, you know, I think it's a great thing to have, don't hit the phone. I think it's a great thing.
Into the thick of it.
We're in a park.
Okay.
By the way. So if they hear random people screaming, it's not that we're like in a murder yard, it's babies in a park.
I mean, actually,
But you know why we're in a park? Because we're having fun.
Yeah, right.
There you go. But I think, you know, something that people, with what you say when you talk about like Voce and all your rehearsals and stuff being fun, I do think that your rehearsal is fun, but there's a whole lot of work that goes in that nobody else does before that.
Yeah, preparation.
That's what I mean. But that's why I say it's still work.
Yeah, for me, and this is why I agree with you, but I also disagree with you, because for me, I can't speak to any other co-directors, but for me, I love the preparation. It is something to look at a score and literally challenge your brain. What does the composer think? How can I make this music come alive? To some folks that may be work, to me it's just not work. That being said though, that's a different type of play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm really focused on that. Playing, going to the movies, playing, you know what I'm saying, going to a park, playing those things that are intentional, because you can get so consumed by your quote unquote work, if that makes sense to you. And then before you know it, you're 60 years old. And wait a minute. No, I'm not 60. But wait a minute. For clarity.
But you're pushing it.
No, I'm not. But my whole point is right here. Time flies.
Yeah.
And you have to be intentional to do that. You know, I want to, when it's my time to go, through all my ups and all my downs, I want to say that I was intentional at not only being the best I could be in my field, but being the happiest I can be in my life.
Yeah, you know what I find interesting about the difference between me and you?
What?
The first thing that you said was being the best I could be in my field. Mine's. I don't care if I'm the best. I don't care if I'm in the top 200 in my field. But I do want to say that I was intentional and had fun in my life.
No, listen, and I understand that. What I mean by being the best in my field, not the best conductor. That's not going to happen. It's, you know, that's just that's life. But my whole point of matter is I want to be the best version of me. I want to be the best Jeffrey Redden that Jeffrey Redden can be. I'm not going to compare myself to Tom, Sally.
Oh, I thought I was getting ready to be like, don't call names.
You know, no, I wouldn't.
That's stress.
I mean, no. Because being
Sorry,
the best.
I had to move. I got sand in my eye.
Because being the best is literally based upon an opinion. So it's not even about that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be the best version of I can. Because if I'm the best version of me, do you realize what happens is that people then get the best version of me? But that being said, the best version is also the happiest that I could be. It's not based on just being a musician. It's like yesterday I took a picture of a flower growing inside of the structure of a rock.
A boulder.
A boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was beautiful to me. And what hit me, what was so powerful in that, is just that even in rough times, even in not even the best of situations, beauty can grow. And literally looking at the beauty of that, of that flower within that boulder inspired me. Inspired me to say what? You know what? At the end of the day, whatever you go through in life, regardless of how bleak you think that it is, guess what? There is beauty and growth even in your storm. Mm-hmm. Something can grow out of that.
Yeah.
It puts things in perspective. When I saw it, I said, it slapped me right in the head. So don't focus on the boulder around you. Focus on the flower that is within you.
Well, and that's the thing that I'd say about being intentionally playing.
Exactly.
I'm proud of you for the amount of time that I have known you, which is a long time, roughly a long time. Mm-hmm. If you compare it in the time I've lived in Florida, I've known you a long time.
Right.
But I literally just laughed, and people laughed way over there, and I felt like I lip synced their laugh. I felt like
oh, there it is again.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm intentional being silly.
So
hopefully they don't hear me because I'm in trouble.
You're so dumb. But you will. I have been able to force you to play. At first, it was forcing you to play.
Yeah.
Like having you to do.
Yeah.
And the other thing, though,
I never gave myself permission.
That you've taught me, though, is that because I almost will go to the total other opposite end. I want to do things. I want to check things off my bucket list. I want to do fun things that I've always I want to do it. But sometimes my body might tell me no.
Yeah.
That I'm not able to do it. And it's okay to then say no, and I'm just going to sit here.
Right, exactly.
You've taught me that. And I hope that through that, you have...
Did y'all hear that? I'm sorry.
That was funny too.
Listen, that's me being intentional when I play. Go ahead.
You're so stupid. But I hope that it has taught you too. Because you helping me has forced you to slow down, I think, at times.
Yes.
Like we're trying to record and I can't get situated and you just have to chill and wait till I can.
Right. You have to, but I mean, and it has. It also has put me in a position in which I'm working on. And I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. It's more so of, but you have to be intentional in your work. It's just not, I'm not there yet. It's not an excuse. Okay, I'm not there yet, but what am I doing to get there?
What do you mean?
I'm not there. I have to be intentional in having fun, but I'm just not there yet. Okay, What are you doing to make that step to be intentional? Are you planning a trip? Are you planning to stop at a certain time? Are you planning to do this? Listen, I get it. So what you call it?
Pot calling the kettle black.
I said pot calling the kettle black. It's like I look at myself and I sit there and say, I have to be intentional. And so just trying to figure that out. Afraid of just, if I have too much fun, what are people going to think? What are people? And listening to Jay Shetty speak and his whole thing about.
We're going to have to pause this. Hold on. Okay, we had to move from our spot because a lady showed up with a dog and the other lady was really excited to see it and they were loud.
How dare they be loud in the park?
I know.
We're recording. How dare you? Anyway, so what I was talking about Jay Shetty, and so that's one of the things that I'm just learning is when he talked about Think Like a Monk, and going through all those chapters is eye-opening and forces you to look at yourself and we just say, okay, I need to become more intentional. I need to go in this direction or that direction. Nedra Tawwab, her book, it is absolutely powerful. You know what I'm saying? The Fine Piece book, I've got that actual.
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, but
Set Boundaries. Something.
Set boundaries, fine peace. And I realized that through my life, most issues I had was boundary related. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, in terms of, just growing up and different issues that I may have had. And I'm like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you go to Jay Shetty book and you have all these different things. And it's like, how in the world then can you become intentional with your happiness? How?
Well,
the first thing is look at yourself.
I wish people could have seen my face just now.
Yeah, because the first thing you do is look at yourself in the mirror.
Mirror on the wall.
Yeah, and say then what do I need to do? How can I become better?
Therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, the one thing I love about my therapist, she is just incredible. It's like, wow. Just point on. That being said, all this right here is that oftentimes it takes you a journey to get to your happiness. It takes a journey to get to your whatever you're going, wherever you're trying to get to. Mm-hmm. This life is a journey, and it's like you got to keep it going. I'm thankful that I have a network of people who inspire me, who loves me, who know me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That I can go to to have deep conversations and tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear.
Right.
And which is absolutely powerful. And it's a small group that I just keep right there. That I keep them accountable, they keep me accountable, and it's something, I can, professors that I can call, you see what I'm saying, friends I can go to. And those things are absolutely beautiful. The thing that I'm learning is that you can't, how can I say this? I don't know how to say it. And trying to be intentional and trying to have play and fun. The journey to it is not always easy, but the one thing about it is you also cannot force people in your circle that don't understand you or don't see you or see what they want to see.
Right.
Why? Any time you deal with a situation that you try to pull somebody in that circle that play both sides of a fence, you stop right there, because that's not healthy for you. And at the end of the day, you have to do what's healthy for you. Therefore, because when you get to the point where you find you're healthy, you literally get clarity of what you can and cannot do. And therefore, for me, I look at how can I intentionally have fun and not, I'm very focused on my work, but I'm starting to be very focused on, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to. You
sound like you won the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to go.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just as locked in on building. The things I'm involved in. I'm locked in on that, but I'm also locked in. I'm becoming locked in, actually, because I'm not there yet. I'm becoming locked in.
We working on you though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm becoming locked in on just not doing things, putting my phone down, not being on social media as much. I'm on social media. I'm getting so much better. I'm only on social media now. I'm working on it to when I have to, when I gotta post, because my job, you gotta recruit. You got to advertise. Mm-hmm. Don't like it. Don't care for it. If I can go my life without having a Facebook page, I promise you, if I did not have, UCF, OC, the different things that I'm doing, I would not be on no social media platform or things that, with our podcast, because I want to be a motivational speaker, to post little quotes. I want to be on social media because my thing is right here. Anybody who needs to get in touch with me got my phone number or my email. You see what I'm saying?
But do they really? They probably don't, which is why you need social media.
But I literally have no use for it.
You do.
Past that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Past.
But
you
I'm
know,
here to say,
yeah.
like, you really do kind of need it.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't have any need for it, use for it past.
I like
what I'm
social
saying.
media. If y'all need to get a hold of them, let me know.
Yeah. I mean, for honestly. But that being said, that's part of my happiness, though. Is growing to my happiness. What's happy for you is not happy for me, and vice versa. And so for anybody, my point is this right here: learn where your path is, and as you grow through your path, you will start to understand your balance, and your balance is not what someone else says your balance is. That being said, I'm not saying don't take advice, because it's important to take advice from those who know and understand.
Well,
you
can take advice. I don't mean you have to apply it.
No, because
if it seems applicable, apply it. If it's not,
yeah, no. But the thing with me, I used to seek out advice from anything and everybody, even folks who got biases that are not healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
and so
you also had Chicken Little syndrome.
What is that?
The sky is falling. Like, you had a high anxiety that almost like the next shoe's going to drop. I get that, because I used to have that too.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
And that's been my life. And that has been my life. Or is this person not proud of me anymore? This person don't love, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, and that
it was
listen, that is one of those things that literally is your friend.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I have prayed for you about that.
And I try, and I know you have. And it's like, that's unhealthy. And it's like, and that's when I said I made my circle small. And, I can call my professors and I can talk to them. I can call my friends and I can, talk to them. And so therefore it's more so of now I'm very, and Jay Shetty talked about that in terms of getting advice from everybody. Everybody's not your friend. So you literally gonna get advice from somebody who's already damaged in this area, who don't have clarity of their own self, but they're gonna turn around and give you advice. I mean, it's tainted.
Right.
and then, and then you open yourself up to that. What's got to do with having fun? You start focusing so much on that instead of fun.
Here's a big spot of growth for you, and not me, because I'm not there yet. But that's fine. I'm working on myself. But for transparity's sake, we got in an argument yesterday, you and me. And within what probably would have been an argument for 8 hours a year ago.
Right.
It was 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you were like, listen, this is dumb. We're being dumb. Here's how you're being dumb. Here's how I'm being dumb.
And let's move on.
Now and honest to goodness. But I can also now, you're very good at hearing. Like, I can tell you that something that you said hurt my feelings. And you'll be like, you used to would say things like, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Right.
You don't do that first. You're like, I'm really sorry. What was it? Like, you want to know what it was as to why. You'll have a conversation about it now, which makes it easier to then move forward and play.
Yeah, exactly. My professor used to always say, and because
there's no Eeyore cloud.
Yeah, and this is a big shout out to Dr. Clifford Matson at Florida State. He used to always say, and it's so funny. There are things, and those you are, who've gone through his behavior modification class, and you get this. There are things that he said 10, 15 years ago that is just not hitting me now. He used to always say intention versus function. Jeffrey, you may have intended it to be this way. Well, how did it function? And if it does not function the way that you intended it, then you need to step back, reassess, and figure out how it should be delivered.
Right.
Or don't deliver it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and now it's like, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's one of my former students who I did not even know I only had her for a brief time. And this is, again, going towards play. But at the same time, what I'm trying to tell anyone is that before you sometimes get to play, your healing process sometimes have to be in motion, not completed. Said, and you know this, she said something to you about it. I only had her for a brief time, but I impacted her life. What was it that she said? I forgot the exact words, but when you told me, and then
That she told you
yeah, and I
that she felt
heard,
alone and not seen.
yeah,
In your class,
right,
she felt like she was heard,
yeah,
and that she was happy.
yeah, she felt like she was heard, and I didn't know that because, as you know, people in podcast land, what do we listen to? We listen to the naysayers, the passive aggressiveness of the naysayers, or the direct of the naysayers, and then you make one into 20. And so therefore you think one first person feel that way. You think everybody feel that way when you're just trying to give your best. And you realize, oh, Jeffrey, that's your Eeyore.
Yeah.
You know. And so again, that's another way you release, and then you go to have fun. You listen to things. If you've done wrong, you in your life, you own what you've done, not your interpretation of what people say you've done. Number one. Number two, you don't own nobody else's stuff. Number three, it's not your job to make anybody own their stuff, or that's not your job. That's not, and literally it takes away from your happiness.
Right.
Because eventually, if you hang around it enough, that stuff will be exposed. You just gotta be quiet and do your stuff.
Well, and
you just do you.
That's exactly what I mean. So I said that's exactly what I mean because I had a thought in my head, but it had not came out of my mouth yet.
Yeah.
And I literally felt like I had said what my thought was.
Right.
Sorry for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything. But you can't let me, I don't remember where we were, but you said, and that's how gossip starts the other day.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They were talking about like Ben Affleck or somebody.
Oh, yeah. We were just walking, and you know Ben Affleck, and they did blah, 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 blah.
And you got tickled.
And I started chuckling. And I said, and that's how gossip starts.
Right. But here's the thing. Gossip has really affected you before. I've seen it affect you. And how do I react to it?
Who cares?
I do not care. Talk about me all day, every day.
Who cares?
I don't care.
Who cares?
I literally could not care. You know all the things that I have and have not done that I did not know that I was there for.
Right, exactly.
It's like, oh, really? Tell me about it. Did I miss a good time? Because I was there, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I'll never forget, there was one time when I was in high school. Somebody, it got back to my mom that I was like, I don't know if they said that I had came to a party drinking or smoking or something like that, or a football game at the high school. And my mom was like, well, that's kind of funny considering that she's been here on the couch with strep throat.
Right. Yeah.
Like she ain't went nowhere. You know, it's one of those things. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know what I haven't done. I know where I've been. I know where I'm going. Nobody else knows.
Right.
So, like, it's one of those things. Like telephone when you're little. You know what I mean? It makes me. I mean, I don't know how many times that we're out and people think I'm pink. I've had my picture made just because it's easier.
They think you pink. Yeah.
They going home and they telling people that they met Pink. They didn't. You know why? Because they like Pink's going to be like, yeah, that wasn't me. I totally imposter syndromed her. Like I just stood there. But it's when you don't focus on when people gossip and stuff, it's really just to build themselves up. And when I see it as like a pitiful tool, like bless their heart, they feel so bad about themselves. Yeah, it's so much easier for me to ignore it at this point in life.
Right.
And the other thing I want to say is parents who've got kids that are like, I think I did this for a while. And especially as a single mom, I know I did it to an extent. You want to make sure that your kids have everything and that you're at their functions and that you do all of this. But you know, some of you people who've got kids that's like in travel ball and stuff, your life be crazy. Yeah. And take time out for you with no kids. You are an adult. Your children are going to leave one day and start their own lives. Don't be alone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, have a life for yourself, an identity for yourself beyond your children.
Right.
I'm not saying that you don't have fun with your kids and you can't have fun with your kids, because definitely you can. Like, I don't think there's nothing more fun than trick-or-treating with your kids. Like, I think that's the funniest thing in the world. But you also need to have a life beyond your children. And your children need to have a life beyond you.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, it's great. Go support your kid for travel ball and that kind of thing. But, like, if you're married, make time for your partner. And if you're, or your husband or wife or whatever. And if you're not married and you want to get married, you ain't probably going to get married on the ball field.
Right.
Like, you're looking for somebody. Give yourself time to have, like, a date night with your girlfriends, to go out and meet people. Because I think that we guilt ourselves as parents to saying, well, no, I got to give to my kid. I need to do this for my kid. You can still give your kid everything and actually make yourself better by making yourself happier, by having a life.
You know, and that's true. You know, I look back, going back a little further earlier when you was talking about before we went there, and you said how that you see how it used to affect me. And even before, you know, before I met you, just my whole life, because I've worked so hard. And then I've always had this issue, and I think it goes back to when I was a kid, you know. So, you know, one thing you work through in therapy is being understood. Being understood. You know, and so that literally could affect you from having fun. And that's the one thing. And then you talked about gossip. The big thing about gossip for me was, has anyone come and talked to me and asked me? You see what I'm saying? And then my therapist said something that was so powerful, because I'm talking about specifically just my life and wanting to be a pleaser and wanting to be liked by everybody, and that's what I'm talking about, which then affected me from having fun.
And you want to be liked by people you don't like.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it was kind of weird. I mean, I don't like you. Why did I, you know, I'm like, what the heck is that about? But she said something to me that hit me. Why in the world do you want to worry about, why do you want to defend yourself against anything if no one don't even want to come and talk to you and ask you? She said, think about what good is that going to do? Just sit on that. And when I thought about it, and she said, you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. You know you. You do. You know the good and the bad in your life. You do. Why would you worry about that? Why would you know, she made a great point. She said, if I sat around as a therapist and I lose a client, and then they go to another therapist and another therapist and another therapist, and they say, well, I need to find someone else. This therapist is no good for me. And then the other therapist said, oh yeah, child, we don't want to be around that therapist because they're not good for that person. Do you realize how destroyed I would be? And how, does that make sense to you? And how, you don't do that stuff. You know, and then you move on. You move on. And so in my life, I've been this way since I was little, is that let me prove myself to you. Let me tell you, I want you to see me for who I am instead of be who I am. You see what I'm saying? Now, through my process, it's like, I want to conduct choirs. I want to conduct orchestras. I want to do this. I want to inspire those folks. I want to do all those things. But I also want to go for walks. I also want to see the country that's not associated with work. Right. You know, I want to do all of those things. You know what I'm saying? It's so in my personal and professional life, I am working towards how can I be the best version of me in all things. Right. You know, because the happier I am, the more, you know, the best people will get of me. But when I leave this earth, I don't have to make a bucket list. Right. Because I live to the best of my ability. That's good, bad, and ugly. And anything that I've gone through in my life, I can sit there and say, I've gone through that and I've done that, and this is what I've learned. This is the testimony from that. You see what I'm saying? And pick yourself up when you make mistakes in your life. You know, pat yourself on the back when you've done well, but don't dwell on the pat. Right. Don't forget any mistake that you've made in your life. Why? Because if you forget it, it makes you do it again. Right. Or drive again. You want to keep that humility. But when you do something well in life, you sit there and say, I did it. is great, but I don't dwell in it, because you become arrogant and you become big-headed, and then you end up losing anyway.
Right. Well, and I think that it's important to remember all of the mistakes that we have all made.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find somebody else that's doing something that is not what you consider to be right, it's not your job to judge them for it.
It's not your job, or shine a light on their BS.
Right.
Time does that.
Right.
Because eventually, you're going to do it again.
Yep.
Time is funny. You just focus on, and then people sit and say, oh, okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which we've already seen in our life on some things. You know,
Oh, yeah.
phone calls that we've both gotten. I thought, And
Yeah.
you don't say that. You just focus on what you need to do, and you focus on what you, and so that's a life thing.
Well, and what
That we're working
happens,
on.
and what has happened, like in the situation where there's a couple,
Mm-hmm.
two that I can think of right now, one of yours and one of mine,
Mm-hmm.
that has happened. And, you know, I was overwrought or you were overwrought in either one. And as we sat back, we realized that what we thought it was, even though we felt like we were wronged in it, then you sit back more and you realize, like, it didn't have nothing to do with me.
No, nothing to do. Nothing to do with
Nothing to do with me. You know, and that's one of those things. And it's right what you say. If you do what you know that you're supposed to do, even if you make a mistake, like at work, if I make a mistake at work and my boss says, hey, did you do this? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
The thing that you got to understand, and it's true, the thing you understand right here, you are not your mistakes.
But nobody gets mad when you say you messed up.
But, you know, what is that? What is
Well, they
that?
might be a little mad. But, like, they've messed up, too.
No. Go ahead and talk. There's a beautiful quote that Harriet said. Everybody loves an honest person until they tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Everybody loves an honest person until they tell them the truth.
Right.
And that is very powerful and very telling. And it's like, oh.
And that's when you find out, like, and that's the thing, that people want to, I got tickled because I can't say what I thought in my head, but I got a little tickled. But people want you to tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And they're fine with that, as long as you're telling them what they want to hear. But the second that you're like, listen, all of a sudden you're the villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that happens. And that's why
I saw that happen with you, yeah.
Like,
you fought right through it, yeah.
Like Michelle, she is going to tell me what I want to hear, whether I want to hear it or not.
That's your dear friend, yeah.
Tamara, all the girls.
You got, you know, your friends are Suicide Squad, like I said before.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're
like,
crazy.
But they're not, but here's the thing. There's a reason that we're all friends.
Yeah.
But a lot of people couldn't be friends with that.
No.
A lot of people would be like, wow, they're mean. No, they're mean to my best interest.
Yeah, and they're not bandwagon jumpers.
No.
They're not bandwagon jumpers. You know, they you know, they're like, what? Okay, is this your interpretation?
They also, well, no, but they also, like Michelle, as she said before, she's like, listen, you're going to be wrong. I'll go down wrong with you, but we're going to talk about it later.
Exactly.
Like, she's going to get on my, she's going to fight for me, but then she'll be like honestly, you probably shouldn't have done that.
right. But y'all do that to each other.
Yeah. It's
and I've heard you say, you're wrong. Sorry, you can't get mad at when you did this. You know what you was doing.
Yeah.
But they all do that. But that's what makes the relationship that you guys have so beautiful. That being said, working through all that stuff, people, it allows you then to try to have fun without guilt. I'm not there. I'm trying to say that's what I'm working towards, because I just, like I said, I want to be the best version of myself in all parts of my life.
I think you're getting there, though.
It's like,
I think the past year for you, you've been like a daggone butterfly. You're a butterfly, Jeffrey. You're a butterfly. But I have seen you, like, for example, we're in a park today. There's a difference between, you've always been silly.
Right.
You would be silly to distract from feelings.
Right.
Like, you'd be silly too, but like, sometimes you would just be silly to push other things to the side.
Yes.
Now you play.
Yeah.
And so
but
I had to go to the bathroom. And so I had found a bathroom. And but we decided that he would go to the bathroom before we started recording. But you had to run like across the street. Where
right.
And And so he comes back, and there's these people running by, and he stands in the middle, and then he runs forward, and then he runs backwards. And then you run forward, and then you ran backwards. And then you ran sideways, but you were killing yourself laughing.
Right.
Like, you were cracking your own self up. And to see you play, like, being funny.
That's Jeff.
And then that little girl went by you and went, hi.
Yeah.
He loved you.
That was a kid.
Like, even that little baby could see that you were happy.
Right. So, the thing is, be intentional with your fun. Right. But at the end of the day, also be intentional with your mental health.
Yep.
Because it frees you to have fun. And understand, it's going to be up, back, down. You know, there'll be times. I'm not saying, like, you know, I've been great one day and not great the next day. You see what I'm saying? But you understand this and you work yourself through it. You know, I'll never, ever forget early in my career. And this stuck to me. And if this person is listening to this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And thank you for saying it to me. It was 2002, and my women's choir, Bel Canto at the time, sang at Southern Division ACDA convention. I think it was 2002, and they sang well. I was so proud of them. I got off the stage. A person walked up to me. Well, a lady walked to me. She said, "Let me tell you this." She said to me, "That was a beautiful concert, but always remember, what God is doing in your life, He can take a rock and do the exact same thing." In other words, don't get so full of yourself. Don't get so big-headed that you forget who you are, whose you are, and where you come from. Aww. And through my ups and downs in life, I always come back to that statement, and it will ground me. You know, it will, and it's like, so thank you for grounding me years ago. Who knew I would have needed it every year of my life? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's one of those things. And so I think about all those different people who've given me advice that have inspired me and told me things I didn't want to hear. But they were right. I had to then disband the folks that weren't right, because I realized that's unhealthy stuff. So have fun, be intentional what it is. Start small. You know what I'm saying? And it's gorgeous. But forgive yourself. Sometimes you feel guilty when you want to have fun.
That's what I was saying.
I get that too.
I said that out loud.
Yeah, I get that too. You know.
You get to have a life. You get to have enjoyment in your life. You don't have to make everything so...
Right. And find your happiness, whatever it is.
That being said,
yeah,
let's wrap this thing up so that we can go have fun.
Yeah, go. So,
follow us on Instagram. I almost said Snapchat. No.
I mean, for real, I don't even have Snap or Chat.
Snap or Chat.
I don't want no social media. If I didn't have this stuff, I wouldn't do it.
I haven't posted on Instagram for the past 2 days, but that's because I've been having fun. But I will today. So it'll be back, so don't fret. Y'all pray for us this week, and we're going to pray for you guys this week.
Sorry,
I didn't expect that.
Listen, that's that church come out of me.
Oh my Lord, a funny story, sidebar. So, me and Jeff were in an Uber, and we had an Uber driver. I about lost my mind. It was 30 minutes of this man
humming.
He was having fun.
I loved it.
Yeah, you're a liar is what you are.
You are a liar. I loved it. I didn't know I was not a liar. You don't want to was complaining. I didn't have a problem with it.
First of all, I didn't complain out loud. I gave you eyes.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I can't read body language.
You're a liar. You're a liar. No, it was on your nerves too.
Okay.
It was on his nerves. He's just trying to act better than what he is right now. He's trying to blame me for his malfeasance.
Okay.
But he didn't even hum, did he? It was like Drake was playing. That's what he did. It sounded like a horn. He'd go,
Those in Music Land, he basically hummed every fourth measure. So he'll leave out the notes in the second and third, and then come back in on the fourth.
I thought I was going to lose it.
And I almost started filling in the parts.
Yo. And how much do I like humming?
I don't know.
Do I like humming?
No.
I hate humming. Just sing the words.
Just sing the words. Don't hum. I'm going to hum because I want to. And
I hate it. I hate it.
Okay, let's have fun. So I get back to humming. Sorry about that.
Stupid.
I'm going home.
Okay, so until next week, it's your turn.
Oh, what did I say?
Join us.
Oh, join us. Oh, I don't know all that stuff. Go ahead, say it.
I already said that part.
Until
You say
ne-
join us on
Oh, Red and Green,
the
the podcast.